Did MBL really... Is he really on his second account for this tournament? Did he... It's not MBL. It's MBL2. Norway. Can we dock a point from them, Robo? What the... How long does it take to switch your Steam account for MBL? In the green, we have the Viper. He's playing as the Franks. In the blue, we have MBL. He's playing as the Portuguese for Game 1, Arabia. And then up against them is France. France comprised of two very strong players. We have Babaram in the yellow playing as the Huns. And then we have Sato playing as the Ethiopians. Sato is definitely going to need to have a good day today. Sato is like he's like the French Viper. He is their best player. And I suppose you could say that Babaram is like the French MBL because it is the second best French player. But I do recognize that there's a pretty big gap between these teams. It's going to be tough for France here. For perspective, they did get 3-0'd by China in the group stage, even though it was competitive. And China is one of those teams that's in the talking with Norway, with Finland, with Brazil as some of the favorites to go through to the very end. This is the final round of 16 best of 5. Winner moves on. And to everyone who's watching on YouTube, I hope you've been enjoying this. I'm just thinking about this. This is going to be hours of content per day, leading up to hours of content on the weekend where we do the quarterfinals, which is going to be... What's next weekend, chat? The 12th? I think it's the 13th and 14th, actually, if it's Saturday, Sunday. Because we're having the quarterfinals, which are best of 5s. We're having 2 a day. So not quite as long of days. But I'd love to have people stop by from YouTube. And everyone can say hi to their moms and all that jazz. Nothing really trolly about these picks here. Norway, I think they have to take France very seriously. Viper, as he takes out that elephant there, and he's going to be going for scouts. And then, while Portuguese might not be your go-to thought for archers for most countries, I think Norway, they love their Portuguese. And we'll see MBL go for archers, most likely. It'd be a very MBL thing to do, to go for a Drush as well. Drush, fast castle into archers, leave Viper on his own for a bit. Very common. But the meta would be to have Viper go scouts, to have Sato go archers, have MBL go archers, and then have Babaram over here go for scouts. Now, if you're wondering what could come throughout this whole series, we have Arena as a home map. We have Nomad as one of the home maps. We have some pretty interesting home maps, so it's not just going to be Arabia meta. France picking Arena, I think, because they feel as though that's a weak point for Norway. Or at least they can survive longer, but truthfully, I think Viper and MBL, even though they don't love Arena, are actually really good on Arena. There was a bigger difference in skill when it happened, but in the first round of the group stage, poor Czech Republic B got massacred on Arena, so France is way better than Czech Republic B. But MBL, no big signs that he's going to go for a Drush. He's just macroing right now. In fact, I'm not seeing anything that tells me we're going to see anything but the meta. But, ooh, Viper and MBL with their scouts working together over here. Didn't Viper win an arena tourney this year? No, he lost it. He lost it to Tato. But he did play well. I don't know, and I say this with all the respect I have in the world towards Clown Cup. Oh, Sato lost the Vil. Wait a second. Sato lost the Vil to these scouts. He's down. Wait, unless he lost the scout. Yep, nope. He lost the villager to Norway's scouts. Well played, Norway there. That's huge. But yeah, I don't know if you can really hold Clown Cup in the same weight as some of the other tournaments you've seen before. But yeah, Viper, good in Arena. Back in the Masters of Arena days when that was a thing, both MBL and Viper played very well there. All right, so Villager down for Sato. Viper on the way to Feudal already. Sato on the way to Feudal. Baba on the way to Feudal. And MBL not yet. I'm starting to see some very MBL-like walls over here. Watch him wall like this. He's going to wall in towards the TC. The tiniest little walls you could ever imagine. On his way to Feudal. And he just wants to keep his gold miner safe, his lumberjack safe. I mean, honestly, his map is pretty garbage. Because this wood line's so far away. He'd have so much walling to do. Nah, I take it back. It would be a lot of walling, but if he could wall properly, I think it'd be pretty beastly if he walled all the way to the edge of the map. But we'll see. I see that MBL and the Viper head over here now. I apparently have to pay more attention to the starting scouts because they've been very active with that. But Baba did not lose a Vil as he was trying to wall. All right. So, expectation is archers and scouts. Norway with a slight lead because of the Vil picks. And I think Franks is probably the... It's so funny how many times we've seen someone playing with as villagers pounce. Or not villagers pounce. Scouts pounce on villagers. Oh, the save! Well played, Baba Rum. That was quality stuff right there. But it's so funny how we had, like, Chinese used against China. We've had Spanish used against Spain. We now have France dying to the French. Well, that could have been way worse for Baba. Baba was able to save the villagers. And Baba's going to get out of here now. And Viper and MBL will have weak scouts. A lot of people say there's no way France can win this series. I wouldn't necessarily agree. It depends on how prepared Viper and MBL are. The scouts are fighting right now. Oh, Sito gets the kill. MBL with his ranges will be making those archers. Viper will start walling up, and Sito is already pretty walled as he's just going for one archer range. It's so interesting watching teams that are this good, but also when there's a gap between them. Sito and Baba, like I said, top 100 players, but then you have top 10 players. And just those small things, like the damage output in Dark Age, seems to be so much more possible for these experienced teams. Do you guys think it's a level of confidence that you have when you're at this level? No one else would even dare to do some of the things that the top 10 do, but they're just like, whatever. If we lose our scouts, if it doesn't work, it's not a big deal. I think a lot of it does come down to some confidence. Also, you know, when you are the favored team, there's probably very little stress. I think all the best players do feel stress. There are definitely some that don't in our community. But certainly, you know, it makes you make wacky decisions when you know you're at a disadvantage as a team. You either overreact or underreact. A lot can go down. So I see a signal from Sito, and he's going to send a spearman and a few archers forward right now. And I also see Baba, he's sending his scouts over, and he's going to try and hit Viper. Viper's got his scouts, but the French are already walled up. So I don't expect a lot to happen there. But Viper, perhaps fortunate to see these scouts, will tell MBL that the pressure's coming this way, get some good hits. Will Viper be fully walled by the time that army arrives? It doesn't look like Viper's in a huge rush to wall up.
Of donating $1 to Viper and MBL. Also, I think Viper picked Nomad just to spite him, knowing how much MB hates the map.
Yeah, okay, Bisharno. I don't know about that one. MBL's skill set, I think, suits Nomad whether he likes it or not. It's just like Arena, you know? Might not like it, but if you're good on it, you got to go for those types of things. Also, it might be good to get experience. If you're Norway and you're not playing a ton right now to practice because you feel like you're going to breeze through France, it might be really good to get experience. Guys, Viper's on the back foot. Viper is on the back foot. And while that villager will not go down, the villagers over here could go down. And everyone's saying, Norway, GG at the start. But what's happening right now to Viper? Hello? Hello? Earth to Viper. One villager down. Meanwhile, losing some scouts, 2 villagers down. Sito has committed so little to military and gained so much already. What's MBL doing? Well, he's brought his archers over to help out. This is a great job from France, and I'd argue they're in the better position right now. Viper does have a ton of scouts, which I think will lead to MBL being able to do a lot in a bit. Because as Viper takes out the spearmen, he will take out the archers, and then MBL's archers could pressure Sito. But you could also argue that if Sito has a faster castle age, Sito could defend. Look at those resources. Now, I wonder if he sells stone here. It'd be a mistake. But you see how he's marketed? Okay, he sold it. So he wants a super fast uptime. I mean, it might not be a mistake, but this is something I think I would do as well when you get a slight lead against Norway. Whereas if you get a slight lead against, let's say, Poland A. All right? A good team, pretty even against France, I'd say. then you probably save the stone for TCs. But because Sato wants a super fast uptime so he can do even more damage, he just chose the YOLO approach of selling all that stone and trying to go up. Let's see if it works. Meanwhile, the scout's still over here. Viper's still not walled. MBL is, in typical MBL fashion. If this was a 2v2 hidden cup, we would know. One person not walling enough. Another person walling way too much. I think we'd know who it was pretty quickly. This is so risky. This is so risky from Sato. There's so much military from Viper. Almost worth losing some villagers just so you can get the crossbow with Bodkin. This range isn't finished yet. These villagers, man, trying to keep Viper out. Can Sato hold on? I think this is clearly a mindset thing. Again, to sell that stone, to not play into a strong Castle Age with eco. And it's mindset that a lot of teams would probably have in this spot, but it's killing him right now. He's losing way too much. As super messy. Blacksmith goes up. He has... Wait a second. Oh, he didn't have fletching that whole time. I actually thought he was using the blacksmith as he'll lose another villager. I genuinely thought he was using the blacksmith to block off because it just made sense for him. But he actually didn't have fletching the entire time. Okay. He did have loom. It's just that MBL had a lot of archers with fletching, and now MBL's upping. MBL's adding a third range, and MBL in a position to add town centers in the next stage. Something Sato cannot say. Viper will be later to Castle Age when compared to Baba Rum, so his Viper will be fully walled in just a bit. The big thing for France here is to do a lot of counter damage to either MBL or to Viper. But then again, if you don't sell the stone there, I don't think your uptime's quite as good. It's an awkward situation to be in. Now, last thing you want to do is chase this army. You get Castle Age faster, you pay a heavy price for it, you lose all your friends and family. Should you fight in their name and push forward? Or should you chase the army that killed your friends and family? Honestly, if we're talking friends and family, maybe you do want revenge over the units that killed your friends. But in Age of Empires, you probably don't want to chase this. You probably want to push forward. But, oh, decent trade. Might be the crossbows they're worried about. Or what would be crossbows soon. That's actually pretty good for France. It's a good decision. As long as the crossbow numbers are still high. The crossbow numbers are still high. MBL, stop. Stop microing. Microing's cheating. And now Sato should move forward with Baba Rum, and they need to pick one of the Norwegians to hit. Sato, he will not be booming. It's two archer ranges, awkwardly placed archer ranges. And that's it for him. He's even adding a pikeman. He's heading forward towards the snake. The snake will have the resources to boom. The snake is actually getting light cav. And he's moving forward with MBL. Now, this is awkward for Baba Rum because he's trying to double Viper. And as he's on his way there, he's going to lose units. Oh, God, that's so bad. And so France were hoping to take initiative. And Viper says, I'm fine. It's better if we go forward. I can make knights to defend myself. And the light cav and crossbows are here, and that stable will be denied. Don't open the gate. No. No, what have you done? What have you done? No. Well, welcome, Norway. To the left, we have our gold, and we'd recommend you take a look at that. And we actually have some stellar farmers in this town. We recommend you take a look at that as well. What are you doing? They're not your friends? I suppose the gate would have gone down really quick anyways, but poor Sato is now coming over to save his teammate. And this is where... this is where games end. It reminds me so much of Argentina. Maybe it's too soon in the previous set, where they became too reactive. They tried to be proactive here, France. Just didn't work out. MBL and Viper getting to the right spots. MBL still 1 town center, but 3 archer range production. He's got 31 military. And Viper is going to go for the craziest boom ever. He's on 3 town centers already. I don't know where they are. There they are. Viper using just light cav to accompany these crossbows. So eventually you'd expect France to clear this. because there's knights in crossbows, and it's also Ethiopian crossbows. And yep, the clear up should happen here. Good micro from MBL to get good value. And I think Norway will be very happy with the time they've gained Viper. Because Viper should have a big eco lead now. And, oh, MBL is even getting more Vil picks. I don't think that's necessary at all from Baba there. You've already lost enough villagers. I think you'll kill that regardless. Using the Vils there as a gate, gators, didn't feel right to me. It's true. Either way, the French do win. Game number 1. One town center for Sito as he sits at 44 Vils. Babarum's at 39. Viper's at 57. MBL's at 48. And so it really brings me back to what France was unable to do in early Castle. Sito lost a lot to be able to get to Castle Age fast. And they did no damage to Viper whatsoever. In fact, the team received damage. And so they'll continue to go YOLO 1TC, but this feels very over. Oh, Viper also has the light cav here. I'll keep an eye on those. You very much like Viper to swoop in. Okay. Sito probably feels like he's trapped this army, but the funny thing is, it's like, this doesn't keep me from you, or you from me. This keeps me from, yeah, you get what I'm saying here. Because I think those knights could pounce on those crossbows. That's not a trap. That's a jabait. The best spot for the crossbows to sit would be right there. And the light cav are in! Oh, it's a disaster! Oh, the light cav! It's so rare you see light cav from Franks, too. Now MBL needs to defend himself. So this will be a little bit awkward for him. But 27 villagers for Babarum at 29 minutes. Viper's Knights did go down. And Sito does have the most military in the game. MBL's only at 10 military. So if there's ever a moment for France, it would be now. But I've called MBL the cockroach of AoE for a long time. I always say that with respect, because he's very good at staying alive. And quite honestly, he's way ahead of Sito on the other side. So if you're going to double someone, you probably don't want it to be Viper. You probably don't want it to be MBL because they're really good at surviving rough spots. Okay, somebody just asked me if the signals are from Norway or France. It's actually from both teams. So if you're watching the signals on the minimap, it should show the signals from both teams. And right after the X, it shows the color. So right now, we're seeing a lot of signals from MBL and Viper as they're communicating. Here's MBL, and he will lose a lot of crossbows, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like France could really kill MBL here. And certainly can't do a lot of damage to his eco. Viper, 82 villagers. Sito, 52. That's the highest for France. And MBL's happy to take some losses for the team. It's not clean. It's not messy. But you know what? MBL was going to get housed at 115 pop. So killing his villagers was all part of his plan. Like, let it happen. House wall, house wall, house wall. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Now here come crossbows from Sito. This is as Viper's making a lot of knights nearby. An awkward moment for Viper, but I'm just waiting for military count for Norway to spike due to the eco. And then for a big cleanup. Look how tiny MBL's base is. Like, this is such an MBL base. I'm not saying you need a good map. But there's not many players who would wall that main portion of their eco in like this. They would try and wall to the edge of the map. Look how Viper walled. But it's also so creative, man. It's easy to wall to the edge of the map. Any pleb can do that. But to turn an awkward spot into a safe spot is MBL's specialty. 35 Vils for Bob. I think France are playing on until they lose this force. They know they're way behind an eco right now. And this is the time. Viper with full upgrades on the knights. MBL with enough crossbows behind. And everything will die for France. Sito's not in a spot where Imperial Age is on the menu. Sito with the faster firing crossbows is trying, but will fail. I feel like the risk is probably worth it against Norway. There's the GGs. The risk is probably worth it against Norway to go for that the sell of the stone, but Sato lost 5, 6, 7 vills. He lost too many vills. And they couldn't hit Viper before Viper and MBL were able to hit his teammate. And that was just brutal. It was just brutal. There's no other way to say it. The reason we get chat now is because these are now Rex. So in-game chat wasn't magically fixed. So 79 KD for MBL. Viper, the KD might not look too impressive, but the eco was, and same could be said for MBL. So, if there was ever a map to win on for Norway against this French team, it would probably be Arabia. And France they picked Team Islands and Arena for their home maps, which are very different. Arena, you have stone walls, and you can't be pressured in Dark Age and Feudal Age. Team Islands, you have to transport to get to the enemy's island. So, I'm excited for this. I know that France isn't favored, and I feel bad for them because no one wants to face up against Norway, just like no one wants to face up against China and Finland and Brazil, and there's more teams to add to that list. But if there was ever a chance, it'd probably be here on Arena, and they did pick Burmese first. So it's almost as if they said, whatever, we're going to lose Arabia. Let's win our home maps at the very least. Viper picked Franks there. We'll eliminate Portuguese from the equation for Norway. And game 2, I'm expecting some funky strats. It's on Arena. And here we are, guys. So the final best of 5 in the round of 16. The quarterfinals are next weekend, which is the 13th and 14th of December. Viper's gone for the Berbers in the green. He's teamed up with MBL, who's playing as the Vikings. Against MBL is Sato. Sato is playing as the Burmese. And then in the yellow, we have Vietnamese for Baba Rum. Okay. I've seen Rattan Archers and Camel Archers completely destroy in this tournament on Arena. And I've also seen Arambai destroy in this tournament. I have not seen a single Berserk yet. So, as much as I'd love for everyone to go for their unique units, I don't think that's going to work. John Doe says it's Baba O Rum. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be perfect with every name. I know Baba. I abbreviate his name and call him Baba. I know that it's a French pastry or something sweet. All of his names are after some type of sugary food. But, yeah, I apologize. Forgive me for mispronouncing that name. Am I saying Viper correct? Is it Viper? Vipper? Is it like Zipper? Vipper? I'll do my research after this. But I can only ask that you guys bear with me as I try my best. But yeah, so do you think like Vikings is not a top tier arena civ. Do you think that MBL is going to sling Viper again? Oh, it's Diaper? The Viper. The Piper. Okay. All right, well, if Viper ever gets upset with me, it was your fault then. I think that MBL is going to sling Viper. I think he's going to sling Viper. And that happened in the group stage against Czech B. So far, it's the most viewed YouTube video from the tournament, where Viper made 1 million Arbalests. And I think the idea was to probably send resources to Viper so Viper could go for mass Camel Archers. But guys, we've seen Rattan Archers destroy Camel Archers, and any Archer really, and any unit that ever existed in this tournament. So while it might not have been the plan for Sato, maybe he could consider flipping that strategy around on France and going for some type of sling. But it also would make sense to maybe pressure MBL with a castle drop. The last thing MBL wants is probably a castle in his face. It's funny, when I was speaking to Nilly earlier, Nilly said that since Norway and France was near the later stages of the day, that there would probably be no mercy from Norway, so they could end the game so Viper could go to bed. Which I think is pretty funny. And we actually, I don't know who it was, but I think that one or more of these players had some obligations today, and it's super late in Europe, so actually the games are not live right now, and they were finished within the last hour or two, so I thought that was a funny joke from Nilly, but the more I think about it after watching game 1, it seems like Norway's taking this pretty seriously. I like to see that. There was nothing Nemi about it, except for maybe Portuguese pick, which I still think is solid on Arabia. Did Viper delete his walls at the left side? He did, yes. On Arena, you have walls generating the back of your base, so getting rid of those makes sense. Baba's just making sure that this is completely blocked off, and he'll probably delete these two. What happens if there is a disconnection? If there's a disconnect, they just restore. DE, for all of its faults, has actually been pretty consistent with restores lately. So, they're able to restore and continue to play. This would be a good time for questions about the tournament. A lot of you guys have hung out all day today. And I normally don't have time to answer questions. Hello, cat. I'm going to try and tempt the cat to go into cat cam real quick, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. Hey, go in the chair for the people. You're the moneymaker. Come on, go. Everyone will sub. Go. Okay, I'm like pointing and the cat wants to attack my finger now. Okay, so that's not working. Viper has a hole on the left. No, he doesn't. I don't know why that happens, why he deleted that, but he doesn't. That's actually blocked off there. Who's your dark horse pick for winner? Good question. So, well, to start, you'd have to talk about the teams that are not considered top 4, I guess. And I would say Spain is not considered top 4, right? Because you probably have China A, Finland A, Norway A, Canada A as the top 4 that comes to people's minds. So, I think, I'm not saying it's going to be easy for Spain, but I think Spain would probably be my darker, or Brazil. Yeah, that's true. There's probably 5 teams I consider favorites. Don't eat. Hey, come here. This damn cat, anytime there's plastic, will eat it. And 1 second, I'm sorry. This cat. I guarantee you. So the thing you have to understand about this cat is I am clear second place in this cat's life. But it is so far behind first place. Is he doing it again? The second that Lorena leaves the house, this cat suddenly thinks I'm the coolest thing in the world. And if I don't give it attention, it'll start chewing on stuff. I don't want it to choke and die. I'm so sorry. Stop it. I literally just closed the closet door because there was plastic in there and it opened the closet. I really apologize, everyone. The cat's more like a dog, let's put it that way. But yeah, so the top teams in no particular order would probably be Norway, Canada, Brazil, Finland. You gotta remember Vietnam. I don't know, man. I don't know if there's a dark horse in this tournament. There's so many good teams. I don't know if there's a dark horse. Oh, God. Viper was holding that gate open. That would have been hilarious if Francis ran in here. Hold on. 1 second. They're going fast castle. 1 second. All right. Now, I'm not going to show the cat on camera. Cat's being bad. He doesn't deserve to be popular. Wow, this is a pretty solid uptime here for MBL. MBL, 25 population, blacksmith, market, and on stone. So he sold his stone to go up. Interesting. This is probably a very fast boom build. I still question what Vikings are going to do long-term with military. So he'll be in Castle Age before 14 minutes, which is pretty nuts. And he's just going to add TCs. So the way it's set up here is to eventually get enough stone to have another TC, which is 50 more stone. Here the scouts are fighting. Oh, this is fascinating, actually. Because we have what will be a very close scout fight all around. Oh, boy. Oh, Viper gets an extra hit. So technically Norway's winning. Yep. I think. Oh, it's so close. Viper always wins these though. He always wins. I don't know what he does. He never tells people how. Yeah, he always wins those. It looked like the HP was the same on those, but somehow Viper won that. So Viper has 1 scout remaining. Throughout all the years, he's almost always won those fights. In fact, when the next Hidden Cup comes, keep that on your list of things to guess Viper on. I know, like, someone makes one Palisade wall and everyone's just like, Viper and Hidden Cup, you know. Someone has a semi-decent build order. Viper, you know. But, yeah, I don't know how he calculated that because it's so weird, man. It said that it was 25 HP for both at one stage, and Viper somehow wins. And he sees the castle going up, which is not going to be a surprise. Sato's going Monastery Castle. This will be very aggressive for France. And at the same time, we have a castle here for Babaram. So we'll see Rats and Archers, and we will see Arambai. This feels like a sling. MBL, one of the most experienced boomers in the world. Even though he's not really a boomer. He used to play tons of Black Forest and Vikings. They have insane economy, and I think MBL will get a big fill lead, research coinage, and send the resources to Viper. What this feels like, but at the same time, unless Viper's an imp way faster than the French, I feel as though Camel Archers, in theory, die to the Rats and Archers. The Viper might have to go for something else. Now, coinage is thankfully pretty easy to spot. Coinage reduces the tax when you send resources to your teammate. See a Siege Workshop for MBL. That's interesting. Yeah, he has the Ville lead right now. France will be happy with their military, but their eco is lacking. What's the plural of Arambai? Good question. I think it's just Arambai. I don't think you say Arambais.
Twitch Prime, I think it was.
Isn't MBL just going to sling? Did it with Mayans.
That's what I think, Jale. He did it with Mayans. Viper with the Monastery. Viper will maybe hope to get a relic or two. He'll drop a castle soon. He went for the eco castle drop approach. So he went 3 TCs. And now we'll drop a castle. So he'll have more. He will have, more eco because of that. Whereas if you look at what's happening with France, they just want to kill somebody. Help me end the game fast. It's funny how Sato is using 3 Arambai to chase down Viper's 1 scout. Yeah, he's looking for that. Forward castle, 2 Mangonels, Rats and Archers, Arambai. Good luck, MBL. Good luck. He's Vikings. What do Vikings make against that? I mean, he can't use defensive Mangonels all that easily if that castle goes up. Seems like France is going to break through. Still no coinage. I'm really confused by what the thought process is for Norway, unless it's a sling. MBL, I call him the cockroach of AoE because he's really good at defending in tough spots. I think it's time to use those strategies and wait for Viper to save you. Because the stone walls will go down, the Ratsons will be running in, the Arambai will be running in. And if you're France, I mean, this is complete YOLO, right? If this doesn't kill MBL, you don't win this game. It's not complete YOLO for Baba. He does have better eco behind this, but compare the stats there. Massive difference. Also, I would say MBL is the king of attack rounds. He's incredible with attack rounds. And let's see if he can get a shot here. Oh! Nope. Sato's micro is top-notch, too. So, credit where it's due. That was a very good dodge. And the Arambai can melt Mangonels if they get in close enough. Oh, boy. And they get in close enough. MBL takes the Mangonel loss there. He's just now getting Loom, by the way. Probably a good time for that upgrade. 72 villagers for MBL. It's 44 for Sato, 50 for Baba. France has a lot of military here. Okay. More Mangonel shots here, more micro. Viper doing his thing. Viper not really needed right now, but sending Camel Archers over. So far, it doesn't feel like France has done enough damage to justify all the investment. But the thing about this type of a push is it can snowball out of hand really quickly as MBL gets another Mangonel. He'll predict it. He'll attack rounds. Here comes Viper with the Camel Archers. See, this is what I mean about Rattans. In Imp, they're really strong. In late Cast Age, they're really strong. But here they are dying to Camel Archers. I don't see France doing enough right now, guys. Viper will be a pain. Camel Archer's pretty darn good against the Arambai. MBL will just drop a castle there. I feel so helpless if I was France right now. It's just like the absolute greed from Norway is you should be ashamed. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. This is not fair. Oh my. So the castle's gonna go up. The Arambai are all gonna die. The Rattans have to run away. MBL still has more economy. And while you do have Baba on the way to Imperial, he's on the way to Imperial with 59 villagers. Viper could be imping soon, and Viper has 78 villagers, and MBL is 85. And MBL can go Imperial to shred this castle down, and Sato is borderline useless at this stage. Because he went so YOLO for all of that. Multiple castles. It actually was about to be a third castle. It just did nothing. Just make it look so easy. They really do. And that's the level of confidence that I was talking about in game one. You don't do that if you're not the favored team. It's not trolling. It's just, whatever. They can't kill us, you know? Whatever. MBL splitting with his Mangonels. Takes a loss there. Viper does have enough of these little Camel Archers out here now. So it should be fine against Arambai, fine against Mangonels, not so fine against Rattans depending on upgrades. And, oh! I didn't know Dow could play for Norway. Hello? What's happening? Dow castle for Viper. So the castle won't go up. And I think Sato's going to lose just as many villagers over here. Viper's still no bloodlines on the Camel Archers. He must not realize because he's losing those. More attack rounds from MBL. Viper microing to the best of his ability here. Good split micro. Actually, it has been very poor micro by Viper standards here. Yeah, I mean, this is... this has not been pretty. I think the ecos what makes me think that it should be fine for Viper and should end up being fine for MBL as well, but I've seen better days. And MBL will need to send his Mangonels over this way, and he, again, is going to treb this castle down. But Baba Rum has the unit with two. You know what? I think Viper could lose everything to the Rattan Archers. And MBL doesn't have military yet that can combat those Rattan Archers. He could maybe go Onager here. Someone's saying Viper's at 10%. How come when it's a good moment, he's at 100%, but when he has a normal human moment, he's suddenly down to 10? Can we not go for 75 or something? What? Oh, he's 10% of the way to Imp. I see. Okay, I got you. It's like, he's playing pretty darn good here. 88 villagers. It's just the KD hasn't been pretty as Baba Rum goes to go in and... Oh! That's Viper's Imp TC. Now, the castle will be prioritized. So he's a lucky boy, but the Camel Archers haven't worked out too well yet. He's making Knights. That's a good switch from Viper. MBL has Onager. MBL will have Siege Ram soon. Oh, I'd love to see a big shot. Oh, no. Instead of a Baba Rum, we're about to see a Baba Boom. You absolute madman. Are you really trying to out-micro here? Oh! God! No! No, that was not a wise decision. And here comes Viper. And oh, France just called the GG. Oh my God, you can't make that up. You can't make that up. They're like, before this gets worse, we need to tap out. Before it gets worse, we can't give people the satisfaction of massive siege onager shots. What absolute, like, the audacity to go sub 14-minute castle time into a boom and then get away with it with Vikings against Burmese and Vietnamese on arena. That was like a giant ferocious bear playing with his food the entire time. MBL's performance. Viper, I don't want to come off as disrespectful here. I actually think it's kind of funny. Viper didn't contribute too much at all, except for being a punching bag. Like, he didn't get brutalized, but my point is he wasn't needed, right? Now, sure, if it was a 1v2 situation, then Baba and Sato would have doubled MBL and only had MBL to worry about. But yeah, Viper, he wasn't needed, you know? He wasn't even in full power here. The Camel Archers, he had 24 kills, 33 deaths. It wasn't that convincing. Now, I feel bad for France because MBL made that look so easy, but perhaps that's the way to counter these all-ins that we're seeing on Arena is just go for an insane eco boom. If even Vikings can do it, they still get arbalest. In this case, Onager and Ram worked really well. Yeah, Viper took care of a few Arambai. It's a good point. And Sato did horribly with the Arambai. My point was simply that boom from MBL was just nuts. Ended up having 101 villagers. In fact, if you look at the timeline right here, look at how much Norway had. I like Arambai on Arena, but I think the core problem there was that you had both French players going for unique unit. When you need to build a castle and then add TCs, it slows down your boom way too much. And Viper went 3 TCs into a castle. MBL went 0 castle. Both Baba and Sato went for a castle drop at the start. In fact, Sato was going for multiple. So I think the better play, because I don't think the Rattans helped at the stage of the game that they needed to be in. I think that it's better to have Baba go 3 TCs into a castle. And then maybe there, you have a 1v1 between Sato and MBL, and who knows what happens. But we are still comparing two very different classes of teams here. And we will now move on to the Team Islands map, which is the final map for France, and really their final hope to stay alive in the round of 16. Now, I was going to cross off the civilizations, but if you've been following, it's probably expected to see some of these civilizations. I'm also exhausted because I've been casting for 7 hours straight. So since we have the next game ready, I'm just going to hop in here, guys, and we can speculate on it. Thank you for bearing with me today. It's been a wild one, but it's been a joy. MBL going, Khmer, I told you Khmer could be good here. I said this earlier. Now, Khmer can also be amazing, and their strengths can probably be better utilized on land maps. But if you're going to transport and you need a place to hide with Khmer, put a house here, and boop, just hop into the house. I think that could work really well, and that's been the meta so far on Team Islands. Viper is playing as the Italians, one of the, and I think the best water civ in the game. MBL Khmer, as I said, and then Baba Rum is playing as the Persians. And then we have Sato playing as the Japanese. I find Persians an underrated water civilization. They're top tier on hybrid maps if you think to 1v1s, and I guess the tournament that features the most hybrid maps would be Hidden Cup with maps like Bay and maps like Cup and things like that. And what's the other one? High Tide. Persians were seen a lot there because of starting with extra resources. Their docks have more HP. Their TCs work faster. Good mix of land and water. And with the meta being the way it is, it wouldn't surprise me to see Baba Rum go for a landing. Or you could have Baba Rum maybe fight with fire galleys, because while Persians like Bracer later, that doesn't matter in Feudal and Castle. And then maybe we have Sato go for a landing. But I think we see double landing. What do you think of the French home maps? Isn't it better to choose something Norway might not be so good at? What map does MBL hate most, Twitch chat? Arena. Okay, so Arena was already picked. Okay. Where would you say was the problem? The first initial problem for France in game 1? Dark Age. So I feel like Arena and Team Islands are pretty freaking solid for up against Norway. Arena, MBL, while he might be good at it, he's good at most maps, as is Viper. I mean, they're good at all maps, except for Force Nothing. So I guess I just don't agree with the logic that they should have picked different maps. Maybe Chaos Pit? Chaos Pit's the other one that comes to mind. But you also have to remember that France didn't know that they were playing against Norway until the other day. So they probably practiced for weeks and weeks and weeks on various maps, and I think that Arena is solid, and so is Team Islands. I'm curious if we'll see a landing, though. I would love to see MBL in the landing position, and I think this is good practice for Norway, because if they face off against teams like Finland, if they face off against China in particular, I know China is going to pick Team Islands as a home map. It's an absolute guarantee. And so, I don't know. I guess with the way the bracket's shaping up, the real threat that could be coming Norway's way would be Canada. And who else? I'd have to look again. But anyways, if they do make it to the finals, it is possible they would face up against a team who would pick this map. Next game, Force Nothing, indeed. Forward dock for Viper on this side. Tells me he will be going to win water. Absolute no worries for him to have the fishing ships forward. Babarum also with the fishing ships forward. It's a tow docking the side, so maybe we'll have the Japanese player go crazy. And is MBL docked? What in the world is he up to right now? He just now docked and he doesn't have a fishing ship. He's 2 eco behind. That's odd. In fact, that doesn't make any sense to me. Feel like a player of MBL's quality would know a build order there. Unless he really wants to transport quickly, then you could maybe send less to wood early, send more to food. Get the transport out 30 seconds faster or something. But there goes Baba on the way up. There goes Viper on the way up. Okay, so I think as MBL's now on the way up, MBL will transport after this fishing ship. And then Sito will do the same. I don't know. Maybe France will go full on water. But it does feel to me like if they're going to stick to the meta, we'll see a transport here. Yep, and there it is. What I like about having the Japanese player go for a landing is they're super flexible with economy, but also their fishing ships are armored.
1890. Had a 6-hour online meeting yesterday. This is much more fun.
I hope
Keep
so.
up the good work. Great content.
6 hours? That's a brutal meeting. Holy. I mean, unless you're obsessed with your job, I suppose. I'm completely obsessed with this, so I've done plenty of 24-hour sessions. 6-hour meeting? What the? That's wild. Well, welcome and thank you. Glad you could make it, and here comes that transport. Do you see the signaling right now? France is thinking about walling up. Here comes MBL. Sending 2 villagers and a scout. Sato's pretty late to his landing, but it will happen. It's very hard to deny that. What are the... Now, these walls are so bad on so many levels. Walling to the shoreline is never good in this situation. Walling, if you're expecting MBL to land with Khmer, oh boy. Oh no, what have you done? Oh! You've done a very good thing, my son. Well done. But yeah, guys, what most teams are doing in this situation is they're not walling to the shoreline and they're walling in a circle. Because currently there's nothing to stop MBL from just transporting his units around these walls. Now, picking islands is not weird to me. I think what's weird is picking islands and walling to the shoreline because I haven't seen that work well. But let's see. Viper and Babaram fighting. Viper perhaps intentionally floating his fishing ships over there as a distraction. Interesting little bits of micro, and Viper at a disadvantage right now. Fishing ships are right next to each other. Here comes MBL, and MBL stopped the wall. MBL will kill that scout. Let's kill the villager now, and more scouts are going to be on the way. Now, this is going to be super fun. Here's Sito. Now, again, I feel like this is a disaster of a landing because you normally see the landing in the middle. And we'll see scouts from Sato and archers hitting MBL while MBL has no defense. And while MBL attacking villagers could kill this villager, should kill the vill.
Enjoying the content.
Actually, the villager will survive. Or no, it won't. Or yes, it will. Or no, it won't. Or yes, it will. Or no, it won't. The good damage for MBL is he's about to get hit here. But I don't think he knows he's about to get hit. Forward archer range for him. Do you see the house thing, though? This is what I mentioned to Nilly earlier. I feel like, okay, MBO just got surprised and lost a villager. But can he not just hop inside the houses if he gets surprised? Ultimately, you're going to want military, but I feel like that's pretty good. Viper losing water? Is that really what's happening? That's pretty ballsy to add galleys in this position when you're so close to fires. BL with 5 scouts also has to react over here as Viper's using his starting scout to help out. 4 scouts for Sato, and welcome to 2v2 Islands, guys. If you're new to the stream and you've never seen this before, prepare to be dizzy. Because this is crazy. In France... Oh, no, I was just going to say they're doing all right. More villagers go down. And MBL might even be so bold as to place a tower here. Meanwhile, MBL fighting with villagers happily on this side. No barracks at home, so he can't make spearmen. Update in the waterfront. Feels like Baba should be doing more. He's patrolling with 4 of these, but he's not engaging against Viper. Ah! Oh, that I don't know if that's unfortunate or what. But in the position to fight Viper and just goes the wrong direction and will lose all of his fishing ships. Oh my word, where's he going? Where are you going? Alright, that's not good at all. A tower for MBL? I mean, he's probably really distracted right now, right? The landing, like MBL, the only purpose he has, and I don't mean in life, I mean in this particular game, is to allow Viper to win water, okay? The best person you want to hit with the landing would be the water player. Baba Rum is going to lose water now because he's being harassed. MBL, he doesn't care. You know, if he starts to die, he doesn't care because Viper's going to be in that strong position. That's what I feel anyways. But then again, if MBL is completely dead, Viper's on his own. And there's still that threat that Sato could swing his trouble over to Viper. But Viper has walled a bit. As I see him now adding a barracks, and he's also on the way to Castle Age. That's really insane macro. But also the benefit of having fishing ships untouched. I'm still unsure why Baba Rum swung his fires around here. He must have done so to find MBL's dock. And MBL's been fishing here this entire time. So I get the thought process, but unfortunate that he didn't know that. As he comes over towards Viper now. MBL sending archers and scouts towards Sato. MBL getting housed temporarily. Sato has his fishing ships over here, but Viper has just now spotted them. Viper also taking down these walls, so MBL can run right through. Viper completely walled off. And I think the correct move for Viper as he's doing it now is a knight or two, because knights can do really well against the scouts and archers. And he also has the food income with the fishing ships, right? Actually, I say that as Baba's being super sneaky here. Sniping those fishing ships. Hi, Sato. Hello. Are they congregating to die? I guess he just finished the berries. And he's doing so much right now on the other island. Sato losing villagers. Not as many as you would have thought, actually. What? He only lost 1. That could have been so much worse, and he's on his way to Castle Age. All right. I feel like this is kind of doable for France. Despite the awkward circumstances. Because MBL is not upping to Castle Age. Sato is upping to Castle Age. And then Viper's going to be, or is in Castle Age, excuse me. And Baba Rum is not. So 1 in, 1 out for both teams. However, it is the Viper who's in. And Viper is Italians. And if he controls water, he can fish boom like a madman. And he's probably in a position to help MBL out. Whereas I suppose Baba cannot really help Sato from this type of pressure right now. Villager escaping. Well played, lady. Well played. Smart thinking there. Thinking on your toes. Villager down on MBL's woodline. But the knights are here. Yeah, Viper can win water. He's been really sloppy. He's losing fishing ships that he never should be losing. But yeah, he should win water and then add more fishing ships. And he's on 2 TCs already, so expect solid eco. I even know what's happening, and I'm still pretty dizzy. These games are wild. But I would say that it's really fun to play. It's not fun to be the water player who's being ganged up on by scouts and archers, but I do enjoy playing this. And here we have Sato, who will try and make knights, but he doesn't have fishing ships, so he doesn't have food. 1 or 2 knights might be enough for now. The forward villagers for Sato, I believe, have gone down. Viper's there to protect. This is actually annoying me. Like, the amount of times... Oh, there's the transport. The amount of times Viper's losing fishing ships and not controlling the front of his docks is really bothering me right now. It's not often I get tilted by something like that, but... It's like, he's so far ahead. And it's Viper, so you come to expect certain things. MBL on the way to Castle Age, and so is Baba, but MBL will be after Baba. But I think Baba... He should probably not be competitive on water, but he might be able to because Viper doesn't seem to be controlling it yet. There's still 3 docks here. Why are the colors messed up on the scoreboard? Ah, I didn't realize the colors were messed up on the scoreboard. Probably because Overlay Guy had an oopsie. My bad. Yeah, I'm glad we added that. So I hope it helps you guys out, but I suppose it doesn't if we make the mistake. No, demos. No, Baba Boom. No. Just at the wrong time for France. He was going to get his upgrades. He had more fires than Viper. He'll now lose these fires. Ouch. But yeah, guys, he's trying to do a lot. MBL's still right on top of him. He was reacting to that at the same time. And he's actually going to go knights at home. But as it stands, there's no... Wait a second. As I was about to say, there's no real way for France to threaten Norway. There's a monastery and a stable here. So Sato is still over here. And Sato is over here too! Wow! And MBL has to go into defensive stables. Every time I feel like Norway are going to close the game out. France says, no way, Jose. This is not happening yet.
I am excited to hear your special announcement.
We have Sato. Okay, what is that villager doing? Do you see her? Did you see that? I think she was supposed to go to a farm and she bugged out. But Sato's on a few TCs. He's going to have some monks. He's going to have some knights. Viper's needed at all times to defend MBL. MBL's still trying to pressure over here, and he'll save that villager, but Baba Ram is kind of trying to deal with that. Also, those were the forward villagers for MBL, so no addition for him, like a monastery, stable, archer range possible. However, the light cav are going to run right through. Oh, no. Oh, no. This will be a lot of damage. Baba Ram also worrying about clearing up Viper on water, which I think he'll easily do in a second. Viper with the most eco in the game, but Sato right behind him with 52 villagers. I've seen crazy comebacks on Team Islands, and while it is France versus Norway, it does really feel like this game is within reach for France. At least it was until this happened. Baba Ram down now to 45 eco. But yeah, he should clear up Viper on water. He has so much in those docks. MBL being as big of a pest as possible, but he can only produce out of stables. And we have 3 monks, knights, scouts, and a lot more coming for Sato. Looks like Overlay Guy fixed the problem. Thank you, Overlay Guy. A weird game, man. I think it's also because I'm a bit exhausted. And it's the tail end of the day. And it was a long day, but here you go. France is winning water. What's Viper been up to? Just booming? Just booming on land? He's added a few fishing ships again. Yeah, just booming on land, I guess. And he's going to go 4-range crossbow here. Oh, and MBL shows up with light cav against the monks. Oh, well played, Sato. Sato, with the house wall, will keep some of those monks alive. I'd really love to see a Siege Workshop edition as well. Because, yeah, okay, and there you go. Because if you have mangonels, then Viper can't use crossbows in this situation to snipe the monks. Knight Mangonel Monk, I mean, it's hard to micro, but it's almost impossible to counter unless you have your own knights, your own mangonels, your own monks. Babaram will add TC here. Babaram on Viper's docks currently as Viper sending out demos. But pretty unconvincing play from Viper on water. He's now got to switch back onto water. And he's just 2 population ahead of Sato, who loves his arena strats, who has plenty of monks and will have siege as well. I like how Twitch chat is calling people out for being uncreative. A castle? A castle with 2 vills. No, 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 run, 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 run. You just freed yourself a prison. You just dug your own grave, villagers. Run, heal, heal, heal them. Oh man. Sito. I feel like a town center would have been better there. Oh, the fills now have gone down. The monks are gonna go down. I mean, Viper's also losing the crossbows. He still doesn't have water control, but I think those villagers needed to stay alive. What a sick castle that would have been, though. Perhaps it's too ballsy. It's easy to say now, but both of MBL's golds are there. All right. But if you look at this game and you add up the populations, it's almost dead even. And Viper's sitting at 3 military. He is on his way to Imp. But he is without a lot of docks with Italians. So the advantage now for France would be continue to make Navy, continue to add land eco, stay in Castle Age as you do that, and try and keep Viper from getting an Imp advantage on water. Oons, 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 oons. Nice little dance there. That's for Eddie. We all know Eddie, the retired Age of Empires player, loves the club. So that's for you. Eddie, if you're out there, I miss you, bro. I miss you. 2 TCs, 3 TCs for Sato. And he still has the buildings here, so he can still pressure MBL, and he still is pressuring MBL. I really would have liked to have seen pikemen too. I don't know. Apparently I want every single building here for France, but I think pikemen against the light cav defense, especially with Japanese, would have made sense. Knights are still better than light cav. Rams and scorpions are here. MBL has 16 on food, not great. And whoa, whoa, surprise! MBL's back over here. Did he have a vill here that whole time? Wait a second. The villager that was walled in here. Did it survive? There's no way he could have transported back over. What? Okay, next time we cast Team Islands, please make sure that that we pay attention, or I pay attention to those villagers a bit more. Because that villager still around here to build stuff. And that raid pretty effective there. MBL making a defensive castle. This is a rough position for MBL to be in right now. But the castle would kind of slow down the troubles. Viper's getting Arbalest to clean up his own islands. And he will do just that as he'll take out those monks. MBL won't lose that TC. MBL's raiding on land, but Viper still doesn't have water control. I think now Sato has got to be looking towards getting onto water and going to Imp. And the same should be said for Baba Rum. The problem for Baba is that he's still making so much at home because of MBL's pressure. And oh, it's a prison! He trapped MBL's knights. Well played. Yeah, so he's been spending so much time dealing with MBL's little raid. I think they should have walled this up when they had the chance. That's something they might live to regret. And here's Viper with the Arbs, and Viper will take out the knights now. Norway, clearly the best team of the two so far in this series, but on Team Islands, they haven't really looked that strong. I say that as Viper's making fast fires with the best water sieve. And also going to mix in galleons, too. I don't know. Maybe it's the case of me being unconvinced with Norway's performance because of the standards we have for them. But still, a subpar Norway performance can get a win against France. I don't think I've seen defensive Arbalest yet on Team Islands. That's a new one. The Viper now climbing pretty steadily with his eco lead and military lead, and the concern was lack of water. He's got it now. No, it's not. I know they're probably going to win from here, but if you look at how all the other teams played Team Islands, I haven't really been convinced with how the strategy's been here. But I think it's all obvious to me that they probably wouldn't do some of the things the same way against better teams. I'm curious if Norway not getting a real test until past the round of 16 is going to be a good thing or bad thing for them, if that does end up being the case, right? If they finish off France. Just interesting. I know other teams are practicing heavily before the group stage, right? But MBL's raids, all he needs to do is continue to affect Baba Rum as Viper wins water. And so it's working out. Sito is on the way to Imp and trying to get docks up somewhere. Yeah, on the front next to the castle. I'd really like to see France come back in this game. Viper should not allow that with the amount of Navy he's able to make. They're playing Winchester and Dark next. Yeah, Winchester and Dark have actually been amazing, though. So, we'll see, man. I think, if Norway ends up winning this game, they're winning this game right now, and they're winning the series. I'm really excited for that series. But it seems like desperation mode for Baba with all these demos. He's got 5 of them in one war galley, and here come the Arbalest. And that's the thing. When you have water control, you can just transport right over, whether that be villagers or military. The castle's in a decent spot to protect the wood line. Viper losing some of those arbs, still doing damage at the same time. Might lose all of those arbs if he doesn't react to this. And that he will. Is also at the same time sitting back here. But key, again, being water. Viper in a good spot there. He's getting Pavise for Arbalest that just died. He now has 3 Arbalests that have extra armor because of that upgrade. So that's big investment, but Baba Rum. Oh no. That hurts. 45 eco for him. They never dealt with the stables. Like, they cleared it up and they never addressed the stables. Because I think MBL stopped producing for a while there. A war elephant! PogChamp! I think France knows they're dead. So he's making a war elephant. Let's go. This tournament has everything. This tournament has everything. Fake hype for war elephant, which is way too expensive for Baba Rum to be investing into. Oh, man. He's an imp, though. Quick. Has Sito send you resources so you can get Mahoots. It's a shame that Baba Rum's so far behind, because look at Sito. Sito, who just sent resources to him, has plenty of fast fires. Look, where is Viper going with this navy? I'm not being mean. Norway has not been at their best in this game. Where's he going? A moment ago it was the Arbalest, and now he's just passing to his death. I mean, if MBL didn't still have this villager, I'd feel like this could be good, but it's just a matter of time for MBL to either completely kill off Baba Rum, or MBL could just shift all that focus over to Sito, and he does have a few raids going on. And even though it is knights against Japanese, Sito's focus has to be water for his team. As Viper's now getting coinage. And are they trading already? Interesting. Viper's starting to trade very early on Team Islands. I know Argentina struggled a bit with that. Trade is an important factor so you can last longer on Team Islands, but trading at 45 minutes. Earlier than I would have expected. That said, I think Viper might have chewed through a lot of his gold, so let's see. If Baba Rum wasn't dead, I'd say that Norway were kind of throwing this right now. But MBL's on the way to Imp. And MBL's eco seems fairly solid. I don't think that there's... Actually, what do Khmer get on water, guys? Do they get fast fire? I know that they don't... This is sad, but I actually forget if Khmer get Bracer. They don't get... No, they don't get Bracer. So they don't get Bracer, even if they get Galleon. They don't get Shipwright. Okay, and the game's over anyways. Yeah, GG. Props to France. Satoa said, GG, well played. Good luck next. Water wasn't needed. And I think right off the bat in game one, when I saw Satoa sell his stone, after getting a slight lead over Norway, I could kind of tell the way this series was going to go. It's not necessarily a bad move from France to try and win games fast because they don't have faith in their abilities long term. But if you get a lead and then instead of trying to hold that lead by playing standard, you immediately go for something crazy, that does tell me that the level of confidence isn't there, and maybe just skill isn't there, and the lack of confidence is based on that. But salutes in chat, please, for France. It's just like other teams. France is a great team. They're great players, but they're up against Norway, who is one of the teams favored to go very deep into the tournament, if not win the whole thing. So, I don't think this reflects heavily on France as a country. It's just that, just Norway things, and Viper and MBL, still I don't feel, have met a huge adversary in this tournament. And I'm curious what they're going to be able to bring going forward. Because there is going to be a time where they meet a big name, whether that's in the next round or the round after that, and they are going to need to really have strong strategy. And they're going... I don't know if I can say that they even need to practice, but they just need to have well-developed thought process, civ picks, and maps. Teams like China, Finland, Canada, Brazil, a lot of these teams are all going to have better strategy and better preparation for these maps.